evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Tuesday, July 12, 2022. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. TOSHAOS call for local issues to be addressed as new NTC chair lauds government support. Rams Logistics yet to submit documents needed for local content certificate, says BHARRAT. UITVLUGT workers call on GUYSUCO to honor their holiday with pay entitlements. Over 50 COVID vaccination sites countrywide, yet uptake still low, and authorities to investigate man who pretended to be doctor. Now for the news in detail. As the National TOSHAOS Council continues today, some TOSHAOS have called for issues affecting them at the local level to be addressed. In our lead story tonight, Joe O'Brien also reports that the newly elected chairman of the National TOSHAOS Council, Derek John, has expressed gratitude for the support Indigenous peoples have so far received from the government. Here are the details.
Derek John, the TOSHAO of Moraikobai Region 5, Mahaica Berbice, in an interview with the state-owned NCN, spoke about the importance of the National TOSHAOS Conference, which has returned after a 2-year hiatus. John was recently elected chairman of the NTC, taking over from Nicholas Fredericks. According to him, the conference allows the voice of Indigenous leaders to be heard.
This conference is very important to me because for the past several years, approximately 2 years, we didn't have an executive body for the National TOSHAOS Council. And so this council will bring together where we will re-establish an executive body because we need to have the voices of our Indigenous brothers and sisters be heard nationally and also globally. So I think that it's very key at this time.
John, in his third term as TOSHAO, also spoke about his plans for Moraikobai and the support he has thus far received from the government.
Well, I have several things that I hope to accomplish in my tenure in office. One of the things is the road connectivity. Linden is the closest town to Moraikobai. That's connecting Region 10 to Region 5. We have a present trailer now, but it is very adventurous, and I hope that my dream can be realized by having an all-weather road linking Linden to Moraikobai. That will serve as a purpose to have our farm produce be transported to Ready Market, which is a town, and also to the capital city of Georgetown. Also, it will able to enhance tourism in our community. Well, we have seen, being real, there's a lot of investment in Indigenous community right across Guyana, and not leaving out Moraikobai, right? We have seen presently the government is embarking on a national project where the ICT hubs are being established in almost every community.
Meanwhile, TOSHAO Mika Davis of Toko Village in Region 9 was also appreciative of the conference as well as the investments being made in his community.
It's a long-awaited conference that we've been waiting for, and I think we have a lot to share here, and we will be looking forward for a successful outcome out after this conference. And some of the development that we have started with, along with the help from the government, we have like the drill well, which we are now having some proper water system in the community, which we have been suffering from for all the years gone by. And also we also have some other development in terms of the internet access. We are in the process of completing that internet access. And also we are now going into tourism. So these are some of the things that we want to at least complete before my term is up as a TOSHAO.
Moreover, TOSHAO Kingsley Baptist of Three Brothers Village told his newscast that while the NTC is a good initiative, there are issues in his village that need addressing.
I raised an issue with the Prime Minister for Health just now, is that the transportation for the health workers in there, we need transportation. Because sometimes we get some emergency cases, and boat is going to go from Maruma to where I live, is like 60 miles. That's the one health. But and the next one is like about 80 or more. So when we get like incident, emergency, boat is got to go from Aruma to there. But then by the time they go there, if we get boat in V village and move to we go there to Maruma. Yes. And we don't want small engine. We have small engine, but it takes like about 6 to 7 hours to get out there.
The 5-day conference runs until Friday and has attracted the participation of hundreds of village leaders. Joe O'Brien, The Evening News.
The terms of reference for the Commission of Inquiry into the March 2020 general and regional elections must be in-depth and deal with all the issues that surrounded the conduct of the elections. This is according to President Dr. Irfan Ali, who has informed that work is underway in establishing these elements. Rupa Sinarayan reports.
Engaging the media on Monday, President Dr. Irfan Ali indicated that it is important that the scope of the terms of reference is all-encompassing. However, he could not give a definite time frame for when the COI would be ready to begin.
The names are now out there, so the commissioners, the chairman, I'm sure I spoke to him, I think just a week ago. They are now working together, talking to each other. Crystallizing the terms of reference. You know, the terms of reference has to be in keeping with all the other things that is happening around the issues surrounding the elections. This is a process with the commissioners, so I wouldn't be able to give you that date now, but definitely work has started.
When it comes to the fact that court matters pertaining to the elections are currently ongoing, President Ali noted that the government is cognizant of this. However, he pointed out that having promised a COI, the government is just delivering on this promise.
I promised the COI, so that is why there is a lot of work going on now on how that terms of reference is developed.
Since the announcement of the COI, stakeholders from several sections of society have noted the importance of a comprehensive inquiry into the elections, which resulted in a 5-month delay before President Ali could be sworn in August 2020. Last month, President Ali had announced the long-awaited COI. It will be chaired by retired Justice of Appeal Stanley John of the Turks and Caicos Islands.
Trinidadian company Rams Logistics, which had alleged that they were being wrongly denied a local content certificate and had complained of dark forces in Guyana, have since climbed down from their stance after a letter was sent to them by the local content secretariat detailing all the documents the company had still not submitted to qualify for the certificate. To date, Rams Logistics are yet to submit those documents, according to Natural Resources Minister BHARRAT. Amar Prasad has the details.
Minister of Natural Resources BHARRAT, speaking with reporters on the sideline of a recent event at the Arthur Chung Conference Center, was asked for an update in relation to the Rams Logistics controversy regarding its denial of a local content certificate by the local content secretariat. Minister Barrett revealed that the company is still yet to submit the necessary information outlined by the secretariat.
In this case, we would have outlined the reasons to the company that was sent to them. To date, I don't think we would have received any further documentation from that company or any other company that is not complying fully.
In this regard, Minister Barrett reiterated the local content legislation outlines several areas that companies must comply with in order to receive the local content certificate and considered a local company. If companies fail to comply with these outlined areas, he contended that they will face the necessary penalties.
We have a local content legislation, and like all laws, you have to abide by the laws. And if companies are not acting in keeping with the laws, then obviously there will be consequences, as we would have seen the non-approval of a few companies because of the fact that they did not reach the criteria set out in the legislation. You know, there are more than one criteria. One criteria speaks to ownership, 51% ownership by Guyanese or Guyanese company. There's another criteria that speaks to 75% managerial staff. There's another criteria that speaks to 90% of staffing, general staffing. So companies need to satisfy all criteria, not only one criteria too. So once the Secretariat is not satisfied that companies are not acting in keeping with the legislation, obviously they will take action.
Local Content Secretariat Director Martin Pertab had written a letter to Rams Logistics explaining the information submitted by the company fails to meet the 75% threshold and the other areas outlined in the legislation. This, he had reasoned, led to Rams' application for the certificate being refused. In the letter, Rams was also warned about submitting misleading information. Apart from the outlined information, Rams Logistics is also yet to submit signed, filed, and certified company resolutions or evidence of shares transfer to Deepak Lal, the Guyanese national that Rams claimed they sold the 51% shares to. Their most recent annual return, which would have shown the relevant information pertaining to this, was also not submitted. The company had initially claimed that it followed the requisite guidelines, but the government denied its local content certificate. For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
Workers of IFLUGT estate today staged a picketing exercise outside of the estate, calling on the GUYSUCO to honor their holiday with pay entitlement for the first crop 2022. Here are the details from Luanda McAllister.
Honor holiday with pay is paid to workers in lieu of annual leave and provided at the end of each crop to qualified workers. The 2022 first crop at IFLUGT Estate was truncated, arising from issues within the factory. However, workers continued to work and were qualified to receive their entitlements, which is in keeping with the collective labor agreement between GAU and the Guyana Sugar Corporation. GAU, in a statement, highlighted, however, that the estate contends that the workers are not entitled to the payments. At the same time, it noted that other sections of the employees continue to receive their full annual leave entitlements. GAU noted, and I quote, "For the workers, this is disturbing as they all benefited similarly from the support of the government. Previously, the workers indicated that the management informed them that certain computations were being undertaken towards addressing the payments. Without any forewarning, the corporation changed its position and only offered honor holiday with pay to workers engaged in planting tasks." End quote. Moreover, it was noted that the workers became more upset after the corporation's CEO entered the estate compound without even seeking to ascertain the reasons for the workers picketing on Tuesday.
Representative for the factory, and we have one strike going on at IFLUGT factory right now, but we want a week holiday with pay. And the CEO come here just now, drive past all the workers and gone in the factory and not even stop. As a manners as the CEO of GUYSUCO, and now even stop and ask the worker them what's really going on at IFLUGT here. And we need one week holiday with pay. For what I seeing as a rep, the CEO, this all the sugar worker them right now. Because if he wants is to stop and ask the worker what is the problem. Drive and go into the factory. And I think is that is totally wrong. And he need to move. He don't know nothing but sugar. The CEO need to move from here.
We need our pay. The 200,000 that the Vice President gave to us, that was saying that nothing to do with our holiday pay. Every single person on the estate got money. Senior staff get 200,000, junior staff get 150, the workers get 200,000. Everybody, junior staff and senior staff, when they have their month leave, they get paid. They get their allowances. They still get 200,000 like us, and we didn't get our back pay.
Senior staff got to supervise.
Right? Everything going against the workers. We have to brave the weather now. Right? We have to brave this weather for start this crop. We have to brave the weather last crop.
So you're demanding your holiday with pay?
We want our holiday pay.
Tuku, Pampas have pay back pay. All of them come down. And they come to a factor for pay back pay. And now they pull out. Now pull out for the pay in the back pay.
He will be here, so
what make them make a factor? And they can't pay every back pay.
Luanda McAllister for the evening news.
Coming up, Massey recalls Jergens moisturizer after bacteria discovery, and COVID-19 mutations warrant grave need to get immunized, says Health Minister. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality, or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rijnveld.
West Indies cricket action is back again. Come line, party, and cheer on the new generation West Indies team as they take on Bangladesh in 1 T20 and 3 one-day internationals between July 7th to 16th at the Guyana National Stadium. Get your tickets now from as low as $1,200 at tickets.windiestickets.com or at the stadium box office. Visit windiescricket.com for more details.
Try our virtual sports and win big with so much matches to choose from. Betting starts at $100. Play for your chance to win. Log on to www.superbet.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. KAO USA Inc., together with their distributor Massey Distribution Guyana Inc., are voluntarily recalling their Jergens 10 ounces Ultra Healing Moisturizer following the discovery of a bacteria in the product, which may affect people with weakened immune systems who are more susceptible to infections. A statement from Massey Distribution noted that there have been no reports of patients becoming ill or dying, and only 276 units were affected in Guyana. Affected consumers are asked to contact Massey Distribution regarding reimbursement. We now tell you that the demise of a 79-year-old woman who was infected with the novel coronavirus has taken the country's death toll to 1,263. The latest victim, who hailed from Region 7, was unvaccinated. The country has also registered 184 new cases of the virus, taking the total positives recorded to date to 68,409. There are 34 persons hospitalized, 5 of whom are in the ICU, while 779 are isolating at home. 5 persons are in institutional quarantine, while the recovery stand at 66,328. Despite having enough COVID-19 vaccines in Guyana, authorities are confronted with vaccine hesitancy and a slowed uptake of primary and booster jabs. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony cautioned today that the virus is mutating with higher transmissibility, and he painted the need for protection by virtue of immunization. Find out more in this Rupa Sinarayan report.
On Tuesday, the United States government donated 12,870 Pfizer vaccines to Guyana as part of a pledge to fulfill the country's COVID vaccine requirements. This will follow additional shipments in the coming months. By next week, 50,000 additional shots are slated to arrive in the country through this arrangement. Amid a slower uptake of vaccines, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony has cautioned against mutating strains that have proven to be highly transmissible.
I know that people have grown very complacent because it's about 2 years now since we've been doing this. And some people feel, well, you know, I don't need to get a vaccine shot. But the virus itself is mutating. And with the Omicron variant, they have what is called a BA1, BA2, BA3, BA4, BA5. And early in January, we probably saw more of the BA2. But now, globally, what we're seeing is a BA4 and BA5 variant that is circulating. This is even more infectious and more, so you get it more easily than the previous variant.
The ministry is also tasked with countering misinformation that is circulating around the communities.
We know we have had some challenges in some of the communities here in Guyana, where people, because of misinformation, might still be a little bit hesitant to take the vaccines. And so the project that we've had through USAID to go out, to reach out, to talk to people, talk to healthcare workers, to keep them better informed, to teach them techniques so that they can in turn inform the general public. I think that has been working.
U.S. Ambassador to Guyana, Sarah Ann Lynch, highlighted that since Guyana's vaccination campaign started, the U.S. has contributed over 300,000 shots. Assistance has also extended to other areas of COVID-19 management and capacity building. With vaccines made available in the country, the diplomat underscored the importance of higher uptake.
Our U.S. assistance comes through State Department, USAID, Centers for Disease Control, and the Department of Defense, all totaling about $800,000 worth of assistance just to address the COVID-19 pandemic. So we are just thrilled to be doing this here today, but as you know, having the vaccine doesn't mean getting vaccinated. So we continue to encourage people to come out, get your shots, get your jabs. If you've already gotten your initial vaccinations, please get your boosters.
Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony has once again made a call for persons to come out and get vaccinated against the novel coronavirus, noting that adequate sites and vaccines are available. Amar Prasad tells us more.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony has affirmed that there are currently more than 50 permanent COVID-19 vaccination sites countrywide. However, persons are not showing up to most of these locations. He stated that the ministry has since started mobile vaccination and is currently trying to engage religious and other communities to increase the uptake into vaccines.
We have more than 50 permanent sites across the country, and in terms of their activity, they vary. And that's because sometimes they're open the whole day and nobody would come to the facility. So what we are also doing, apart from having the fixed sites, is to go out and do mobile vaccination, and with with combination of other institutions or other organizations, we're trying to have these types of partnerships where, for example, if a church might be able to convince their churchgoers that they're doing vaccination this week, then we will send a team to be able to vaccinate that congregation. And so we are trying to get different community partners to work along with so that we can get more people vaccinated.
The minister stated that the uptakes has been especially low in terms of booster doses, with many persons receiving primary doses but not returning for the booster jab after their 6 months period would have expired.
If you had your primary doses, first and second doses, for more than 6 months, you really need to come back and get a booster dose. Without a booster, after 6 months, your immunity starts to drop, and therefore you can get COVID if someone who is infected is next to you.
Minister Anthony also urged parents that have children 5 to 11 that received the first shot of their vaccines to have them return for the second dose, as many are now becoming eligible.
For the 5 to 11 age group, first dose, we have been able to complete for 4,246 doses. And you have to wait 28 days before you can do the second dose. So last Saturday, we started giving the second dose. We had an exercise at the tarmac of the cultural center, and we were able to administer 38 second doses to children who would have received their first dose. We are going to continue that exercise, and we want to appeal to the parents of the children who received their first dose to bring them so that they can get their second dose vaccination.
As of yesterday, statistics show that 441,120, or 86.6% of the adult population, have received the first dose of a COVID vaccine, while 343,901, or 65%, have received the second dose. In terms of the 12 to 17 age cohort, 35,129, or 48.2%, have received the first dose vaccine, while 25,693, or 35.2%, have received both doses. To date, 69,503 booster doses have been administered. For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
The Guyana Cancer Foundation today issued a statement noting that someone who had volunteered at the organization as a doctor is in fact not a licensed medical practitioner. The individual in question, after initially insisting that he is medically certified, has finally admitted to faking his medical credentials and is seeking the public's forgiveness. Luana McAllister has this story.
President of the Guyana Cancer Foundation, Bibi Hassan, made a post on Facebook that began circulating like wildfire. The post expressed that one Mikhail Radius McLennan, who volunteered with the organization, is pretending to be a doctor. In the statement, the foundation said there are no records showing he is registered at the Medical Council of Guyana. According to Guyana Cancer Foundation's president, McLennan had asked her to volunteer with the Guyana Cancer Foundation some time ago, and she took him on the job as a volunteer. She said it was until several people, including those from the media, reached out to her that she began investigating the man. She expressed that, and I quote, "Persons called to confirm that he is not a doctor. I questioned him about his medical degree and refused to send a copy of it to us. He said he is working as a medical officer pharmacist at ROK Pharmacy, and there's no such pharmacy that exists," end quote. As such, the woman said McLennan is no longer affiliated with the Guyana Cancer Foundation. Hassan also posted photos of the man's alleged curriculum vitae that stated that he attended Queen's College, Texila American University, and the University of Guyana. The man also claimed he worked at several institutions, including the New Amsterdam Regional Hospital, New Amsterdam Family Health Center, Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, and the ROK Pharmacy. McLennan initially told several media houses that he is a doctor when he was contacted to respond to the statement by the Cancer Foundation. But later the same day, McLennan issued a statement on his Facebook page apologizing and confirming that he is indeed not a medical doctor. His statement reads, and I quote, "First off, let me start by apologizing to everyone that has been affected by this. I acknowledge that I made a huge mistake, and I would at least try to explain my side. I did start the University of Guyana in 2016 to pursue what was and still is my passion to become a medical doctor. My mom was my only means of support, and when she got ill and could not support me any longer, I had no choice but to drop out." He added, "I did try everything else to make my dream a reality, some of which I'm not so proud of. But when it did not work out, I was too embarrassed to tell some of my closest friends and family of my situation. In my heart and many hearts, I am a doctor because that's my passion, so I did insert myself into circumstances which allowed me more knowledge in this field, even if it was not in the classroom. I know I went too far by calling myself or introducing myself as a doctor, and for that I sincerely apologize," end quote. The Evening News understands that the actions committed by the man are considered a criminal offense. It is unclear if charges will be instituted against him. Luana McAllister for the Evening News.
When contacted for a comment on the situation, advisor to the Health Minister, Dr. Leslie Ramsamy, noted that he has since advised the Chief Medical Officer to contact the Medical Council of Guyana on this matter. He explained that the Medical Council has the authority to call in the police to investigate the situation. And now for a look at the bird reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Wednesday, July 13 at 2 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Wednesday, July 13 at 16 hours 20 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Let's now take a look at the local stock exchange market complements of GASI. West Indies looking to rebound in second ODI, and Brathwaite DBU impressed with football infrastructure, MOU extension likely. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
action is back again. Come line, party, and cheer on the new generation West Indies team as they take on Bangladesh in one T20 and 3 one-day internationals between July 7th to 16th at the Guyana National Stadium. Get your tickets now from as low as $1,200 at tickets.windiestickets.com or at the stadium box office. Visit windiescricket.com for more details.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the two most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
American-made Generac pressure washers from Sylvie's Variety Store gives you the power you need to blast away dirt and grime, providing the perfect cleaning power for any tough jobs around the house or business, from 2,500 to 4,000 PSI. So get the Generac pressure washer today with all the parts and accessories available from Sylvie's Variety Store.
Ultra Lubricants, the leading lubricants for tropical conditions, has been serving you for over 40 years, extending the life cycle of your vehicle's engine by protecting it from wear and corrosion, removes impurities, and reducing frequent vehicle oil changes. Ultra Lubricants is for every market, from two-wheel light vehicle to trucks, construction, agriculture equipment, mining activities, and boating. Ultra Lubricants, world-class lubricants for tropical conditions. Distributed by Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc. and available nationwide.